If you're talking about Sexton, Nasewa, Henshaw, three guys you would stake your life on going into a game of this importance, if they're missing, what's been wrong with the Leinster second string over the past couple of months? They've had some really bad defeats.
Yeah, their form going into the final, if you take away when the first team was away, the second team seemed to almost check out a little bit because I suppose they weren't, they knew that the 15 or the 23 was pretty much locked down. There might have been one or two that could nudge the way in. And I suppose that's a very difficult mindset to have, but it's very difficult for them to switch back on this weekend. I don't think the 23 is going to be remarkably different to what was over in Bilbao at the weekend, but I think that the 8 that were on the bench will probably, most of them will slip into the team, and we'll
so you bring McGrath for Healy.
You probably switch your entire front row. You've still got Ireland internationals across the front row. I think Furlong's looking a little bit tired at this stage of the season. Porter looks really fresh. You can bring in Rhys Ruddock and Jack Conan from the bench. That's not going to weaken things at all. You've got James Lowe. Whether they can squeeze him in, if there is a doubt over Luke McGrath, that's going to be an issue. I mean, that 3-into-2 thing exists in the Pro 14 as well. Nasewa would naturally come in for Henshaw if he was fit, so maybe you've got Noel Reid starting there, which creates an opportunity for Munster because his defence would be seen as being a little bit susceptible to being got at. But if you think there's points to prove for Leinster players, the point to prove is there for Munster to say that, look, this is the European champions. If they're our biggest rivals, they're leading the way across Europe. They're getting all the good press. Look, you can imagine what's going. If they do the dressing room thing anymore, the stuff up in the dressing room wall thing. I mean, they've got lots of fodder there, and they just want to prove to themselves that they want the trophy because they haven't won anything since 2011, and for a whole generation of players, including Simon Zebo, who's gone at the end of the season and hasn't won anything. This is this team are massively desperate for success. Never mind hungry; they're desperate for success. And they've lost at the final stage of this competition twice in the last couple of years, so they're not short of motivation either. They've had an extra week. They've had a whole 2-week window to prepare for this game. They have a very good idea of what they're coming against. But on St Stephen's Day, Leinster rotated massively, went down to Thomond Park and won quite well. So Leinster have the depth to go and change things. So I wouldn't read too much into those Connacht and Treviso matches because there's so much at stake. But I would think that the celebrations, the high, will take a toll over the course of the couple of days.
Well, they struggled to do the double in 2011 and 2012. In hindsight, afterwards, was all the conversation saying, actually, listen, we celebrated, we went out, our minds were slightly off the ball?
I think so, and they came up against good teams. They came up against the Munster team that was at the start of a transition, and they came up against an Ospreys team and won a couple of those Pro 14 or Pro 12s, whatever it was called back then, over a course of a couple of seasons. So there was no shame in losing those games. Look, for all that it'll tarnish the achievement over the couple of days afterwards, in reality, in 6 months' time, all the people will remember about this season is that Leinster won the European Cup. But to go and do a double, and for the players who weren't, to lose to Munster a week on would, certainly hurt. But I'd say there's no shame in winning European Cup on one Saturday and losing a Pro 14 semi-final on the second Saturday. It won't sit well with them, but at the same time, it's a very hard thing to do, to pitch up to, within 7 days after that, a huge emotional high.
Yeah.